Hi, it's Chris Watkin here, and I'm with estate agency industry legend Iain White, ex-director of Romans, ex-director of Countrywide, and now advises some of the biggest estate agents in the UK. Iain, I've got you on today to talk about what's been happening with the portals in the last 24 hours. So I'd like to ask your opinion on Rightmove's move when they did the deferred payment, Zoopla's move on the 9 months free, and also Rightmove coming out this morning, literally a couple of hours ago, offering 75%. Talk to me.
But firstly, I think we would all agree that the offer that came out from Rightmove, unfortunately, was very insensitive in terms of its timing and the scale of its offer. Perhaps they didn't mean it. Perhaps they didn't understand how everyone else was feeling, because let's be honest, they don't really live in the real world, do they? They've got a huge balance sheet, and this is just a blip in time for them. I don't think it was contrived. I don't think it was, deliberate. I just think it was, ill thought through. However, it did cause, for the first time ever, a genuine movement of dissension, and there were mass resignations from Rightmove, for the want of a better word. And only this morning I was speaking to one of the major players in the industry who were about to push the button on giving notice and saying someone's got to go first from the big 5 or 6, and they were prepared to be it. Obviously, the new offer is different, and Zoopla have moved on, and there are the other 3 portals that are all working in the space to vie for your trade. So I don't know whether Zoopla's offer of the 9 months is now in the public domain. I think it probably must be. And that is obviously. That is very appealing to an estate agent, to know that they can have a big portal behind them with a huge audience, with good technology, providing them with a completely free platform for 9 months. I mean, that's going to appeal. And I don't think they're indicative of each other. My view is we'll jump on it. It's free. Get on. Get yourself on this website. Why not? Rightmove's really, it comes down to whether the estate agents are looking for a short-term solution in relation to Rightmove, because the Rightmove agency battle is not new. Just the virus thing has brought it into very, very sharp focus. And I think the agency industry needs to understand whether it's looking for a short-term fix, but then in reality they will still go back to moaning about Rightmove's fees and the dominance they have in the marketplace, or whether actually they move to they move now to empower themselves by coming off the website for a period of time or forever. And it'll be very interesting to see which way that goes, in fact. But you have to a degree, take your hat off to Rightmove, because it is a U-turn. Doing a U-turn is not something that would have come easily to them. And doing a U-turn is not something that displays great strength moving forward, in effect, that the mob now understands it has power. And that's the first time that we've really had the ability to create such a strength of feeling that Rightmove have had to react in such a big way. But we mustn't overlook the gesture. They just kissed goodbye to about £75 million of the turnover. It's a big gesture, whichever way you want to look at it.
Isn't this the opportunity for agents to finally make that move and be brave? Or
they are at the moment the number one. They are the one that hold all of the trump cards, and that's what's angered the before coronavirus. That is what has angered the industry, that they've been over a barrel. It's a barrel they put themselves over, I might add, because their own psychology won't let them be strong enough to take firmer action. But yes, of course, if the thing settles down and the movement to resign from Rightmove loses pace, and people don't carry that threat through, then of course at the 4-month point Rightmove returns back to its natural position. We don't know where we'll be with coronavirus by there, but I presume we'll be somewhere nearer the upside than the downside in 4 months' time. And then you'll find agents moaning in a year or two's time that when they get their renewal notices and their increase in prices in the new year and all that sort of stuff. So the industry has to make a decision. They have to make a decision. Are they now looking to make a change forever, or are they looking for a short-term gain? If they want to stem cash flow for the next 3 or 4 months, well, clearly Rightmove have enabled them to do that. There is no question. They're now 75% cheaper for the next 3 months? I can't remember, or is it 4?
It's 4 months, I think. I think it's
so 75% off for the next 4 months. Anyone that's listing with Zoopla will have lost all their Zoopla costs for the next 9 months. So we can't say, forget how much money Rightmove are or aren't making, or Zoopla are or aren't making, because that really shouldn't be our focus, I don't think. I think it should be about our businesses and what it means for us. Whether Zoopla was making £1 or £1 billion is largely irrelevant to the strategy you should have with your business. I appreciate it raises the heckles and it might raise the anger. But there are plenty of suppliers out there that aren't making money, some of whom are in cash burn, who are also chipping in. You know, my diary has been just as busy speaking to suppliers as it has been speaking to estate agents who are also stressed. We are all in this together. And no matter how you do the maths, Rightmove and Zoopla have just added the largest amount into the pot. It doesn't matter what they're making, they have just put the largest amount of money back into the agents' P&Ls. But I still think the agents do have this big question now, is do we carry through and change the portal market forever and take back some control? Or do we go back into our shells gratefully and thankfully because we've had this discount for a period of time? And it'll be interesting to see. I don't. Do
you have an opinion on this?
I know what I would do if it was me. I know if I would do it if it was me, but I don't have insight to all of the businesses that I work with. So I have insight into the businesses I work with, but there are a lot more that I don't, and I don't know what their position is. I don't know what's happening in their trade. I know if it was me, I think I would now say, right, I think I'd be saying to myself, the opportunity is now to carry this forward for my forever future, not just the next 3 or 4 months. And I think there's an opportunity to therefore carry through the threat, remove myself from the portals, and see where that leads us in the fullness of time.
So really, it comes down to a short-term game or basically a long-term game. I mean, some people will say, well, then Zoopla will then just go and put the prices up and become Rightmove too.
Yes, they could do. I mean, having said that, let's be fair, you can only judge people on the way they've behaved in the past. And Zoopla, in my tenure with speaking to them and ever talking to them, or and understanding the relationship between them and the agents, their relationship with the agents has never been strained in the way that the relationship with Rightmove has been. I think when On the Market came into play, I think the agents made a mistake and went after the wrong target at that moment in time. I think they.
And why not On the Market? I mean, let's be honest, they only have a limited amount of cash. It's pretty, because they're a public company, we know how much money they've got. Why not push towards On the Market?
Well, right now, why would you bother? Because you can get 9 months free with Zoopla. Zoopla has more traffic, it's more established. I would have no problem pushing towards something. It doesn't matter what you push towards. There's lots of free portals in the market space. Regardless of what happens with the paid for portals, my view is the estate agents should be listing with the free portals anyway. I really fail to understand why they won't take the free portals, but then moan about the paying ones. I think we should be giving the consumer different choices on how they connect with us. I think we should be giving them, the wider the amount, the more portals you are advertised on, particularly the free ones, because I appreciate there's a stress on your P&L if they're all paid for. But the more free portals that you are on, the less reliant you are on the paid portals. If there was only one estate agent in your town, your fees would be higher than if there was 10.
Yes.
So why I don't understand why agents want to keep it neat and tidy with calling it the 2, the 3. I would have no problem with the agent swinging in behind On the Market and making that the main portal, as long as On the Market became transparent with what it's charging everybody. At the moment, it's got people on free, it's got people on a mid-term deal, it's got people on long-term deals, it's got people on no, still held to this no second portal rule or whatever they call it. Their act is one, their entire process at the moment looks like it's just built out of, whoever shouts the loudest gets a different deal, and that has to become much more transparent.
What final thing would you say to agents whilst they're making the decision to either go for the short or long term? What's your one final thing you'd say to agents?
Well, is make a decision, short or long term. What's your game plan here? If you've got a long-term game plan, still come off of Rightmove. If you haven't, and you just short-term need to get through, you have to make a different decision. But and it may be different for different businesses. Make the decision that's right for you. Don't make it out of hate or spite. Make it out of good business sound judgment.
Thank you for your time today, Iain, and I look forward to speaking to you next week.
Thank you. Cheers, Christopher. Bye-bye.